Yo, what's going on? So, over the years, since Old School has been released, there have been so many updates to the game, including some very useful but small quality of life changes. Some of these changes might have gone unnoticed to some people, so I want to share 5 of those today. I'm sure most of you know at least some of these, and some of you might even know all these, but my goal today is that at least one of these will be new to you. So with that being said, here are 5 quality of life tips in Old School RuneScape. Starting off with the first one is about moving rooms in your player-owned house. And before, if you want to move a room around, you have to delete it and then make a new one. But with this very useful update, you can move and rotate rooms as you please. So first, you're going to click on the wrench to go to the options tab, and then click on the house to get to all the house options. And make sure you're in building mode or else you won't be able to do this. And click on the button that says viewer, and it'll bring up the layout of your house. And from there, you can add rooms, delete rooms, move them, rotate them, whatever you want. And you can do all of that in this one interface. Imagine how annoying it would have been having to move a costume room before this update if you had all your outfits in there. I can imagine that being very frustrating, so this was an awesome update for sure. The next quality of life tip I have for you is about the Avas Devices, and they randomly gather iron, steel, or mithril ranged items depending on which one you have by default, which can get very annoying when you don't need them because most people don't need random arrows and darts. So with the device in your inventory, you can right click it and press commune, and by doing that, you're able to toggle on and off whether or not you want to gather these random items. One more tip I have with the Avas device is that you can activate its effects in Castle Wars. And that's because in Castle Wars, you can't bring any cape slot items in, which means Avas devices aren't allowed. But if you talk to Lanthus just outside the portals and tell him to look at your dead chicken, then he'll activate the Avas perk in Castle Wars, so your ammunition will get picked up. Moving on to the third tip now, which is that you're able to remove roofs. And roofs can be annoying when you're trying to run into buildings because you can't click inside the building, and you can't get in there unless you angle your camera a certain way or click on the minimap to run in. And a lot of the time they can just get in the way as well depending on what you're doing. But all you have to do to remove them is type : toggle roof. And I know it seems like some weird sketchy command, but I promise it works and you won't get banned for hacking. Or the other way to remove them is go into your options menu, click on advanced options, and then you could use the second option from the right to turn roofs on and off. Alright, this next tip is useful for when you're trading with someone in a crowded area like at the GE. So if you're trading with someone, sometimes the public chat will be moving too fast and you won't be able to see what they're saying, which can be annoying if you're trying to haggle or communicate something to them. All you need to do is click on the trade button on the bottom menu list of chat thingies, and it'll show you any trade offers you received as well as the chat of only the person you're currently in a trade with. This can still be frustrating though because a lot of the time the other person won't know about this and they won't be responding to your comments because they just don't see it. But I guess there's not much you can do about that, but hopefully this video will spread awareness for those who don't already know about it. And the fifth and final tip I have to share with you today is about walking and running. So it's possible to run even with your run turned off, and there's actually no option to toggle this, it's just built into the game this way. All you do is hold down control while you click and your character will start running to that spot, and your run will stay off. And if you click again without control, you'll just be walking. Control clicking to run works no matter whether you click in the actual game screen or the minimap, it works the same way. Although there are some weird mechanics when you do it with the minimap where like you'll keep running sometimes even if you do a regular click after doing the control click. I'm not sure if it's meant to be that way, it's probably not, but it's not a big deal. Once you try it out a couple times you'll see what I'm saying though. But this method of clicking can be very useful at certain bosses such as Saradomin, and more notably useful for completing the Inferno. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you found these tips useful, and hopefully at least one of these tips were new to you or able to help you out in one way or another. But I just want to thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you again tomorrow.